Hey everyone, this is Video Game Lover here, and welcome to another edition of Games That I Finished. I cannot believe we're in December. Where the hell has this year went? I'm actually being honest with you guys. Where has this year went? I literally remember this being January of 2023, and here we are, we're already in freaking December. It's truly unreal. But anyways, I have finished 13 games this month. Okay, well, technically 12, but 13, let me explain that one game. So, another thing to note, a lot of the games I beat were on the emulator or through my Vita. So, without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to start off with Resident Evil 4 Remake Separate Ways. This was the DLC of Ada's campaign, and it was really, really good. I didn't realize how short it was. It was only about like a couple of hours, but it was a very good campaign. I really liked how they handled Separate Ways. And spoiler alert, I'm so happy they brought U3 back, because he was the only boss in the Resident Evil remake that for some reason got the axe. And it's like, why was he in the game? But he's in Separate Ways, which is really awesome. And I'm very, very happy about that. So, next up, I beat a crap ton of wrestling games. So, I'm going to go through them as fast as I can. WWF Superstars on Game Boy. Okay wrestling game on the handheld. Only has 5 wrestlers, but whatever. Superstars 2, complete trash. Absolute garbage. Trash game. WWF Attitude on the Game Boy Color. Also gutter trash. Complete trash. The grappling system in that game is broken. I don't even know how the hell to grapple perfectly. It's just completely random. You're either going to suplex your opponent or the opponent suplexes you. ECW Hardcore Legend was okay. Not really great, but not really good either. So, it is what it is. It was just an okay game. Next I finished Super Lucky's Tale. Finally got through playing through that game. I didn't realize how short it was. Like, if you don't go for the secrets, you could beat that game in about 2 hours. So, had I known that, I would have beaten it long ago back in like 2019. It's just an average 3D platformer. Not terrible, but not really good either. But I did hear that new Super Lucky's Tale was a lot better. So, I'll see how that one is. We also have more and more and more Game Boy games. Seriously, this was like a Game Boy filled month for me. I finished SpongeBob and the Legend of Lost Spatula. Now, I did a live stream of this game, and I struggled a lot, especially in the desert level. This is SpongeBob's very first game he was ever in, and it's not a terrible game. It's not really a great game. It's just whatever. But it's not a bad game in my opinion. It looks good and it has a good soundtrack. So, we have Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle. Finish this game, all 80 levels. This is a fun game, but it overstayed its welcome. It did not need to be 80 levels. It should have been 60. And I'm being generous about 60, but man, some of these later levels in this game are really hard. Otherwise, it's a really easy puzzle game, but it's a good game, but can be very, very annoying. The next game I finished was the very first Donkey Kong Land. I finally played through that game. I could never beat that game, mainly because of the Cloud World, but I finally was able to finish it. And it's a decent game, but Donkey Kong Land 2 and 3 are way better, mainly because of the controls. The controls in the first game are very stiff, and especially the jumping is very awkward in that game. So, it was an okay platformer. Wish the controls were a little tighter. Then I finished Tiny Toon Adventures Montana's Movie Madness. I didn't know that there was a second Tiny Toon Adventures game on the Game Boy, and it's a really solid game, but there is 2 things I don't like about the game. One is this game is pretty damn hard. Well, not like hard like you're gonna, like, it's really tough, but hard like some of the jumping can be really strict at times, and you might end up falling to your death. And number 2, and this is the number 2, in order to get the best ending, even though I recommend not going for it, you have to beat the game on hard mode. I don't understand why Konami love to do that. You already beat the game. Why do we have to beat the game on hard mode to get the true ending? It's like, no. We're not going to do that. But regardless, still a good game. I do plan on getting a copy of that game really soon. One more Game Boy game that I finished, Trip World, on the Game Boy. And basically, this game was never released in the US. And when it was released in Japan and Europe, it's one of the rarest Game Boy games. It's a really short and easy platformer, but what makes it one of the more well-known Game Boy games is its graphics. Graphically, this game looks incredible. For a 1992 Game Boy game, looks amazing. Beautiful looking game for the Game Boy. So, a pretty easy platformer. Well, I want to say super easy, but it can be a little bit tricky. But it's still a good game. Alright, next up we have two PS2 games. First up, we have Forgotten... I can't even talk right now. Forgotten Realms Demon Stone. So, this game was made by the same people who did Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. And if you enjoy this game, you'll most likely like this game. It plays the same. You have 3 characters, and it's like a co-op game. You can switch them out, and you can BS them. But one thing I really hate about this game was enemy respawns. That is just so annoying. So many respawning enemies. And it happens a lot in boss battles. It reminds me a lot of Evil West. Remember how I bitched about that problem? But this is even worse. There's just so many times where you just kill non-stop enemies. And sometimes it happens during boss battles. And it just makes it so frustrating. But it's not a bad game. It's a decent hack and slash game. I didn't mind playing through this game. Next, we have Lethal Skies 2. I actually had the first game, and no joke, I didn't get through the first game because of its controls. Thankfully, with this one, you have the expert controls and the novice controls. I went with novice because, again, that's how I love to play Ace Combat. I know Ace Combat fans are going to kill me for saying that. I just love the way Ace Combat 2 plays, okay? But anyways, this is not a bad Ace Combat knockoff, but the problem is that if you already beat Ace Combat 4, you pretty much beat this game and you didn't even realize it. It's pretty much almost the same game. It's not a bad game. I might do a Let's Play or a playthrough of this game because now I got my PS2 emulator running, so it's not a bad game. Oh, if you want to see the disc, here it is. So, it's not a bad game, but it's nothing really special. And last but not least, I finished the original GoldenEye, but more specifically, GoldenEye Remaster on the Series S. Why it took me that long to play that game? Because the original N64 version has not aged well at all. It's almost unplayable. So, the remaster, it plays in 30 frames per second, but it plays very well. And so I was able to finish through that game. And that's it. That is all the games I finished. A lot of games. About 12, 13 if you want to count separate ways. And I'm already at 103 to 104 games that I've finished. And I already finished one for the month of December, the Dead Space remake, which was a really good remake. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take it easy. Video Game Over 58, sign out. Peace.